Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Marco from Digital Dash. Today, I'm going to be doing a quick analysis on ES. This price action does apply to SPY too, so it's going to be an ES and SPY analysis. This episode, I'm not going to be doing a QQQ and an NQ analysis, as I'm just trying to keep it as genuine and as real as possible, and I don't really trade NQ or QQQ like that. So I'm going to be cutting out the analysis for this video, but if there's anybody in the comments that wants to see me continue to do QQQ and NQ analysis, just let me know in the description, let me know in the comment section, and I'll start doing NQ and the Qs again as well. But I trade ES and I trade SPY, so I'm going to be going ahead and doing a breakdown of it right now. Now, I haven't looked at the charts yet, so I'm going to be doing, I guess, a live analysis, you guys could say. Starting on the daily time frame, we're going to, of course, start on a higher time frame, get the bigger picture, and figure out how we're going to play this for the rest of the week. So make sure you guys continue to watch to the end, leave a like, and subscribe. But starting, again, like I said, we're on a daily time frame here. Not much to see. Past couple weeks, we have been heading higher, slowly but surely. Bear market's gone, right? Everybody's portfolios are up. Last couple weeks, we've been grinding higher. So short term, we are moving up. The trend is up and uptrend in the short term. Keep that in mind on the daily, right? It's very obvious. Price is just continuing to head higher. For the short term, the price is, or the trend is bullish, right? So keep that in mind. Breaking down to the 4 hour. Before we go into the 4 hour, we had a nice zone that we've been resting at for the past few days. Here we had a very nice selling created in this area, in this 421, 41.53 level. Very strong resistance so far. Was created a very strong imbalance in the past. Returned to it, tapped into it. Crazy drop from it, right? Again, pushed into it, came here in the past, crazy drop from it, and now we're consolidating here. So again, this trend that we've created, this trend that we've been on for the past couple weeks, is testing this resistance now, right? So our buyer is going to be strong enough to break above this level, and hopefully we can get a retest and go long and continue to head higher, or our seller is going to defend this level and get price to go down lower, is what we're trying to figure out today. Past couple days, it has been choppy as buyers and sellers are agreeing on price, right? Buyers are not present enough to move the price higher through this zone, as sellers are very clearly present, right? Very present. We've seen them present in the past. So sellers are struggling to break above this structure here, or buyers are struggling to break above this structure. But for some reason this time, sellers are not clearly stepping up how they used to in the past, right? Clearly there was no back and forth, no consolidation, anything when price reacted to the zone. So that's something we want to look out for. Keeping in mind that we are bullish on the daily and the 4 hour. So coming into that zone and absorbing into that zone could be a sign that buyers are being weakened and sellers are going to enter the market, or this could be a sign that those sellers are getting knocked down at this level and buyers are eventually going to overcome. So critical levels that we're at, make sure you pay attention. Going down to the 4 hour, same thing. The trend gets a little bit more obvious here. You can see our pushes, pullback, our pushes, our pullbacks, our pushes, and this chop that we're at now. So now we're currently just waiting, for the trend we've seen for the past couple weeks. That push, pullback, push, pullback. We just came from our push. We're chopping around now. We're waiting for that full pullback. Hopefully it's into one of these zones down here, so we could go along and continue to ride the trend higher. Now, with this being at this resistance, I've been hesitant to just go ahead and buy any dip, because the selling pressure is obviously so strong here. There's a lot of volume being traded at these levels that we're seeing. A lot of participants in the market. Buyers and sellers just fighting for control of these price levels. It's a lot of congestion in the areas that we're at. That's why I want to avoid trading in the zones that we're at now. So let's talk about that going down to the 1 hour. Let's turn this indicator off for a second. But in the 1 hour, if we turn on our volume profile, let's see. Yeah, a lot of volume in the areas that we're seeing right now. I call this no man's land. If this is the supply up here, if this is the resistance, and this is possibly the support down here, we only want to be taking trades up here. We only want to sell up here, and we only want to be taking buys down here. This area where there's a lot of chop, a lot of volume, right? You could be in here, price is not moving, you're up a point, down a point, up a point, down a point, you're up, you're way down, you're down, you're way up. This is not something that you guys want to be trading. Wait for the extremes, sell the highs, buy the lows. Buy at support, buy at demand, sell at resistance, sell at supply. That's all we should be doing, right? So not wanting to get involved in this area here. Put an X on your chart just to remind yourself, don't trade here. This is no man's land, no price action land. Only trade here, right? Only trade here. I don't like that, but you get it. Only trade here and only trade here. That's all you're doing. Don't trade anything in the middle, right? Let's talk about why I think why I like this bounce and why I'm going to be looking for this bounce for the week. As you guys can see, my alert is set there. Okay, now I actually don't like that. So now we have a low volume area trading right below. I have another high volume area there. And this is the 4 hour. I'm going to go ahead and drop this demand just in case. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop this demand just in case. And I'm going to go over why I just added that in there for you guys in a second. Let's go. Alright, so this is the 4 hour. We had a nice zone here. This push actually took out these highs. This push took out this structure. So we had to break a structure from this push here. We could say that the leg was started here, but the leg was started here. We started getting the balance. Then we had that resting candle. We had that major push. So I do like this demand zone here. But I also like this one, because this is the last leg before we could say that the trend is starting to change, right? So if we get a close below this, then I'm going to be saying, okay, the trend is starting to change. Let's see if we can pull back, break some structure, and find supply to take price to the downside. So if we break below this 40.31 level, then I'm going to be saying, okay, this trend is starting to change on the higher time frames here. This is the 4 hour, so a lot of price actions happen, a lot of down movements have happened on a lower time frame. And if we start breaking below these levels on the 4 hour, then it's going to lead me to believe that price is starting to get a little bearish on us, and maybe we can start to take downside moves if demand zones keep breaking, or assess where we're going to look for a new bounce at. But for now, this is a nice area to really all in general. I like this first zone. I like this zone. This is a 4 hour demand. It's also a 5 minute demand, so there's confluence there, but this 5 minute also rests on this new 4 hour that we found here. So there's a lot of possibilities for a lot of buying in this zone, but we're gonna have to find something that works to minimize our risk, because this is a 41 point zone, so we can't just go ahead and look too long at the first zone and put our risk below. It's just going to be too big of a trade. So we're going to have to watch price when it approaches these levels and see what trade setups we can catch to manage our risk properly, right? Maybe a new demand will form at one of these lower time frame demands, in return allowing us to get an entry and enter on the move, right? No need to catch the move as soon as it happens. We can allow price to develop and find a better trade for us, so we don't have to risk as much. This is a game about managing our risk, so that's the first thing we need to take care of. But with that said, I'm going to be looking for a bounce down here at these levels. My alert is here at this first level, so I can watch and see how price reacts at this 40.73, and then I want to see how price reacts at the 40.54 and see if we can hold these levels, and I'll be looking to take my trade from there, right? Again, this is like the last level to show me that price is continuing to stay bullish, and it's not, a strong bullish trend is still intact. If we start to see breaks and close below these levels, I'm going to start to reconsider bullish options as our demand zones are being taken out and new lows are being created. So with that being said, let's look at the flip side. Let's look at the bear case. I'm not really seeing anything to support my bear case, right? I'm not seeing any major supply zones ahead on any time frames that are taking out structure, and that's really the biggest thing I want to see, because while we're in a uptrend on the higher time frames, I want to see supply zones that are being created and taking out structure for them to be valid. The only real area I can see is this one here, and I think this was on a 5 minute. This is where this first imbalance came from. This imbalance was a decent imbalance, failed to take out structure on the first push, but later on trickle down, taking out some structure here. We're getting some changes of character, some breaks of structure. So this was the only zone I could really find resting inside of this larger supply to where we could really look to take sells from. So I'm not really interested in getting involved in any of their supply zones. Again, I just can't find anything that's doing anything right now. Even something like this, if this is a supply zone, we didn't get any real imbalance from this to take out any structure to the downside for me to like this zone, right? Ideally, I would have wanted to see an imbalance that came and took out all of this price action over here and close below it. And then once we've seen that, then we could go ahead and look to take a return to this zone for a move lower. But I haven't seen that, so for now we're just gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna wait for the bounce, right? We're working with the higher time frame. What we're seeing on the higher time frame, the trend's still intact, the uptrend's still intact. We're chopping around at current levels, so don't get involved. We have high volume where we're at now. High volume areas usually trade to other high volume areas. So if we go ahead and zoom out, there's more high volume areas down here, resting around the zones, resting around the demand zone. So hopefully price can travel from one high volume area node, one high volume node area, or whatever it is, to the next, which is down here, and we can see how price reacts to these levels down here to see if we're going to get if we're going to enter the market. This huge imbalance was created from FOMC, right? So I believe it was Tuesday. It was the FOMC minutes, and this huge imbalance was created by this 5-minute zone, right? This is the Kansas 5-minute zone. Huge imbalance was created just from the FOMC meeting. So obviously buyers were very interested in the market at those levels. Sellers are very interested in the levels up here. We're getting a lot of chop right now. Just stay patient. Don't trade the set alerts. Don't trade until you have alerts. I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this bounce for the week. Not looking at anything else, just looking at this bounce. If it doesn't happen, then that's fine. Of course, the beautiful thing about trading these supply and demand zones and finding these critical levels are, if these levels fail, then more than likely you're going to see follow through in the opposite direction, right? So if these levels break down and are invalidated, we can then look for supply created at these demand zones and look to enter in and go short, right? So again, since the current uptrend is still intact, we would only want to target, if we're entering below this zone, we would only want to go ahead and target this next demand zone down here, which is 43 points away, which would still make a decent play, right? Just targeting the next demand zone. So if price action ends up coming here, nothing happens, buyers never step in, price rips to below the level, we can look to take the break, retest the zone, get involved, look for supply to form at this zone for us to get involved into the market, and also get involved on the down move. So that's what we're looking at if that's the case. I'm not looking to get involved up here, honestly. I don't want to, not trying to sell the highs if we're in a bull market and we're continuing to head higher. I'm just going to let it do its thing. Wait for the market to form, wait for structure to form, wait for your edge to become present. Come to the market in ideal states. I haven't been getting sleep lately, and that's been something that's hindering my trading. So these are all the things. We're going to go over the rules of execution now. Now that we have covered the technicals of the things for the week, it's not much. We're rating. Don't get involved in conditions that aren't ideal. That's it, right? Sell at the top, buy at the bottom. This week, currently, we're looking for a bounce. That's what we're doing for the week. If anything changes, make sure you guys join our Discord. Of course, things can change. This video is going to be outdated by tomorrow. So if you guys want live updates, what I'm doing, how we're going to trade this, and if this does end up changing, if the bounce doesn't end up happening and we go short below the zone, of course, Discord will be informed about that before the guys on YouTube. So make sure you guys go ahead and click the link in the description. Join the Discord group, Digital Dash. We can come in there on some of my updated plays. You guys can send your stuff. We can chill. All of that is videos in there to study. Is videos in there to learn how to trade my trading style. And of course, you guys can reach out to me with any questions and anything you guys have. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to take a second, going to take a quick sip of water, and then we're going to get into the execution side. And we're going to look at some mistakes I made last week and how we can avoid making those mistakes this week. All right, guys, so we're back. We're going to talk about the execution and everything, because now that we have our plans, I really want to make sure our heads on the right way and we tackle this how we should be tackling this. So I want to talk about, just something that I struggled with earlier this week. This was 2 days ago. We're going to talk about this quick little trade right here I looked at. We're at the price entry. Again, this is what I want you guys to avoid, right? The top of the range is down here. The same levels we just looked at and went over again, the 40-70 levels are down below. I came to the market. I didn't get any sleep. Okay, I went to sleep at around 3 o'clock. I woke up. 9:30, 10 o'clock, immediately came to the market and tried to make decisions, right? That's something you guys want to stay away from doing. This is a high performance sport. There's a lot of money to be made here. People are out here getting paid like they're, ball players from this. This is a high performance sport. You come to the market, there's somebody on the other side of the trade that is ready to take their money, your money from you. They're ready to take advantage of you. They're ready to put their skills against yours and extract the bread from you. So you guys got to come to this ready to perform. Come to the market with a clear mind. Come to the market with an exercised body, a rested body, and approach things how you should be approaching things. And I say that to say this. So I came to the market. Now that we have a clear mind, and of course, after sight is everything, right? Hindsight is everything, of course, in trading. Came to the market, I saw this choppiness, saw all of this choppiness, still decided to get involved in the market, right? So chop. I woke up, I saw that we had sold off crazy. Seeing this crazy sell off, I didn't think, maybe we'll get a bounce, maybe we'll get a relief, maybe we'll come back into the zone that we've been holding for the past who knows how many times we've held this zone. Who knows how many zones were created here. All I saw was the fact that we had broke the smaller zone within the bigger zone, right? We broke the order block. We broke it close below that, and I thought it was time to go short. So before we even got a valid real break with price returning and holding, I entered the trade below, and I set a BS stop loss. Really, there was no, if I enter here without a real break and retest, price could just chop around like it did and stop me out, and that's what ended up happening. So of course I didn't look at these equal lows and say, okay, maybe price will grab this liquidity and head higher. Since we did hold up here, I didn't wait for this full zone to completely break for this everything to be invalid. Of course the bigger zone is still intact. If we took a limit order here with a stop below, this trade would still be intact. I didn't even wait for the big zone to drop, so there was a bit of impatience there and chasing and rushing. So those are a couple things you want to do. Come to the market clear-headed, be able to read and digest the market and make the best decisions. Wait for the trade to set up, wait for the trade to come to you. Don't chase, don't hop in early, don't speculate like this. I didn't see any real valid break and retest for me to go short, especially not with the higher time frame picture still being an uptrend that's intact, right? That's something you guys want to look out for. Don't do the same thing I did. Of course, it ended up being clear as day, right? Came down, we pushed, we took up those lows, we grabbed that liquidity from all of those lows. Immediately, we got a nice green candle. Right after that, broke came below, fake move up, fake move back down, and then we started rallying nice big green candles. Of course, back up to the top of the range. Could have been a very, very, very nice trade if we were just looking for that bounce. So this is something that I don't want to miss again. Come tomorrow, come Friday, whenever this move is going to happen. So I'm going to be looking to take buys. And if this zone breaks, we're going to go ahead and sell below the zone. But yeah, guys, again, this is the Discord. If anything changes, it's going to get sent in here in the Discord. Make sure you guys leave a like if this was helpful. Subscribe. Go ahead and click the link in the description to join Digital Dash. Come trade with us. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.